into the, you are now tuned into the, you are now tuned into the Fraudcast.
Cold start. I remember it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
It was more weddings, and then it was immediately followed by the Jovi and Yara baby special. That's what we saw last week. This week.
That's what we saw. And it's interesting because we kind of already knew that, of course, we know they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't sure where the episode was going to take us in their pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Were they going to
how much of it were they going to show us of their journey?
Right. And it's really nice because I'm always excited when they don't try to make this very long event of it. And they just kind of give people what they want. Like we knew she was pregnant.
Right.
We knew they got married. And so what logically made sense was to move into baby time.
Right. And I like that they didn't save the footage for Happily Ever After.
Oh my God, yes.
Because we know the baby's already been born. Baby was born in September. So waiting until Happily Ever After and watching all that play out a year after the fact. I liked that they did it right now. It's like, here's a quick hour. Let's catch you up on everything that happened between the wedding and when she delivered the baby. So it was nice. And we didn't have a 2-hour season finale of the regular episode where they stretched out everything that happened. Let's stretch out Mike and Natalie's, wedding, non-wedding, captive, hostage taking situation.
Yeah, we'll have to get to that because I think that felt really rushed, right? It was like we'll get to it, but
yeah. Where do you want to start?
So yeah, we saw some weddings. We saw Jovi and Yara. We saw Natalie and Mike. I think those are the last.
Was that a wedding? Was that really a wedding, or was that seriously a hostage situation?
Well, who's holding who hostage?
I don't know. The whole thing was so weird.
It almost turned out like, hey, we're not going to find any better, so we might as well just do it. It's almost like Natalie was kind of being like, you put me in a really bad spot. I came out here to marry you, and the day before you say no, but now I have to go back. And I don't know if her desire was to stay in America. Like I never felt that she really wanted to be out here, like she was hanging on this marriage to be out here versus she just wanted to get married with them. But I think at that point, it's kind of like I spent all this time here and now you just all of a sudden tell me no. And now I'm forced to shuffle all my shit back
and figure everything out on a very short timeline. And when I'm supposed to go back, but the borders are closed. And now what do you expect me to do?
Right. And she's got to travel during COVID. So it just puts her in a very crazy situation of trying to travel. And so it felt in the end like he still didn't really want to marry her, but he did because
he felt he owed her.
Yeah, what's the word when you try to make up for past sins?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. There was a movie called that, but
oh my gosh. Oh no. Now I'm gonna have to. Okay, now my brain's gonna explode.
Come on, word guru. But that's exactly what he's doing is kind of like trying to make up for putting her in that bad situation. Or it's all for show because like I said, and of course I don't have the timer.
Penance?
No.
Repentance? Restitution?
No. Are you gonna make me look this up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up, but I'm reading things.
I'm gonna give you the word and you're gonna be angry.
Oh. Reparation?
No, keep going.
Restitution. I don't know.
Hold on. I have to look it up based on the actress that was in it was Keira Knightley.
Oh.
And she played in the movie, and it was about a mistake she made, or it was a mistake that her younger sister made in the movie. Atonement is the word.
Oh, okay.
Atoning. Yeah. So now that we've dived into the dictionary, it was a really good movie. It was a really good movie, but it was kind of based on little sisters. Like she made a really big mistake that fucked a lot of people over. And the
don't
rest
think
of
I've
her
seen it.
life was trying to atone for that one mistake she made because she was too young to really understand what was happening.
Oh,
And she thought that her
interesting.
sister was being sexually assaulted when she was actually just having sex with her boyfriend. And it turns out being a
Oh.
whole mess. You should watch it. You guys
Okay,
watch
okay.
it. It's a bit of a old movie, but it was still really good. And the ending is a really good twist.
Okay,
So
cool. Back
the
to Mike
ending
and
of Mike and
Natalie.
Natalie's story was not a twist. It was more like I felt really sorry for both of them. I'm like, you guys both don't really want to be together, but you're kind of like, well, we made the soup. We might as well suffer through it.
Right. Like that's kind of what I felt like. I mean, this whole, we've been talking about this all season, right? Like him just hemming and hawing about whether he wants to be with her or not. And she's towards the end practically begging. I mean, she was before, but like she's really begging him to marry her now. And it's like, okay, might as well, sunk cost fallacies, all of the things that you were talking about. Like, okay, let's just, throw it together. And then Uncle Bo in his wedding white best, which was amazing. White jeans and white wife beater tank. Like, oh my God. Yeah, like I don't know, to me, I mean, it felt forced. It didn't feel like they were really thrilled and happy, like
Right. Well, how easy would it be to be happy when all this shit happens prior to?
Mhm.
And you're so, like she said, if it was up to Mike, I would just be his girlfriend forever and we wouldn't actually get married.
Mhm.
But that's not how the fucking K1 visa works. Like
Right.
the only way you're going to keep the person there is if you legally keep them by getting married to them, which is what you come there for, not for you to get cold feet in the last, 11th hour of your fucking engagement. Like, what the hell? Like, all of a sudden he's like, oh, I can't do it. I've got cold feet. And I'm like, well, she left her slippers for you, sir,
That was funny.
that you kicked around. I was like, what is going on? So, they say they got married on the 90th day. I
But we
think it
know
was
it
just a little
wasn't.
bit before. Like I said, didn't have a timer to go like, okay, she landed and she had exactly this much time. But based on the day that we saw her at the airport, I'm guessing landing equals, unless she stayed a
Right.
week somewhere else and then came.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of like stepping outside the episode because everyone
Okay.
knows what happened.
Right. Which
We
is
had
they're allegedly not together.
allegedly, but they're on Happily Ever After.
Mm-hmm.
So is
Interesting
this going
twist.
to then, right? Is this going to then document their relationship and then separation?
Like, is it going to document them falling apart?
Right? Like, are we going to see the first Happily Ever After question mark that actually is the question mark?
Well, at least since the first season of
through.
it. Right.
Right. So we
Right.
have Happily Ever After announced. I believe we have Jovi, Yara, we have Natalie and Mike, and we have, who else? Is there any others that we care
From
about?
this season?
Yeah. I think it's just those two, right? So far they've
I thought there was
announced.
one more. I thought there was one more, but
I was really scared to see Hazel and Tariq, but I don't think it's them. You see how much I pay attention. As soon as I see it's Elizabeth, but you guys all call her something
Libby.
else. Libby.
Oh yeah, they're on it. Yeah.
They are on it. But they're just kind of like Happily Ever After filler.
So the other couples are Angela and Michael.
That's right.
Kalani and Asuelu. Libby and Andre, and then allegedly Tiffany and Ronald are.
Now that would be interesting. We haven't seen them in a while. That would be good to see. But yeah, like they're just kind of recycling the regular cast, and then we dropped in. I really am excited to see Jovi and Yara. I like their story. It seems refreshing. I don't know about Mike and Natalie. I think I wasn't ready for more drama from her.
Brandon and Julia are coming.
That's right. Okay.
So it's the three new couples from this season are coming to Happily Ever After, which is good because I didn't like any of the recycled people from this season. I mean, they were fine, I guess.
I just want it to go somewhere. Like with Kalani and Asuelu, I feel like it's going to be the same shit, different season. Same thing with
Libby and Andre. What's there to show?
there's nothing else to show with them.
It's
They'll
just-
surprise me if they show anything.
Just Family Libby trying to make Family Libby happen, which we know from a couple of our sources that they have been trying to get a Family Libby spinoff, and they might actually be getting it on Discovery Plus.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
That's like going to the gulag. That's you know.
We know that they were filming. I mean, I know that they were filming. My understanding was from the source was that they were filming for Happily Ever After, and they were focused. The filming was on like the Family Libby and the flipping business stuff of the real estate flipping that they do and management of real estate. But then I know they're trying, they've been trying to make Family Libby a thing. And my last intel was that it looks like they might have it. I mean, and honestly, it's, if I were Discovery Plus, or Team Discovery, like I get why they're doing it because it's so cheap for them to make. But now that they have Discovery Plus as a platform, they can just throw it up on there. You know what I mean?
Right. Like anytime, and this is just an observation. I don't know if this is really how it happens, but it's almost like just food for the fish, kind of. We're throwing in these things. We have these folks under contract, and now we don't have to be constrained by airtime.
Mm-hmm.
We can just throw it on the app, right? So people who are, getting married, maybe couples that they were good and familiar, but people don't quite remember them, can get their own special on the app, and just kind of give people updates on them that way. But I don't,
it also gives them footage and content for Bears All, to be honest, because they're pulling in some random, spliced together stuff on Bears All. So,
right. But when you see the My Diaries and stuff, those are really just updates and a whole bunch of, footage that they've taken over time, and they're kind of like shoving it together. The never before seen footage is just their extra shit they cut off. It's on the floor. They pick it back up and go, never seen before. It's like, well, we could have seen it if you didn't chop it out the first fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested in specific couples, that's what makes the platform, you have Discovery Plus, good, I guess, because you can get the update on so-and-so without having to wade through the rest.
Right. So in short, it's great if they get their own show, whatever, it's on the app. I don't have to endure it.
I don't have to suffer through
it. Exactly.
So anyway, Happily Ever After, Jovi, Yara, Mike, Natalie, Brandon, Julia.
Right.
So of those three, you're most looking forward to Jovi and Yara.
Yes.
Who we also saw get married this week.
Yes.
Now,
so people did point out the Elvis that came was also the Elvis from, was it Ashley?
Was it?
Yes.
Is he under contract with TLC? They just went back to him. Oh my God. They just went back to him. I did not even see that. I guess I wasn't on social media enough. Oh, that is funny.
Everyone was pointing out the very similar Elvis. I'm like, either he was just still there and he was really good, or TLC was like, hey, we worked with this place before. It was really great. We come back, we give them business. I mean, I would have my regulars.
Somebody pointed out the resort that they were staying at is the same place that Colt and Larissa had been on date night several times. So it's apparently kind of a nice place. It's off the strip, but a nice place. Like, you don't have to be on the strip with all the tourists, but people who like live locally in Vegas, like it's a place that they wouldn't mind going, is what I saw.
It's not the Las Vegas gimmicky kind of, on the strip is when you want to go there for that experience, but off the strip is usually a little more laid back, classy and elegant.
Yeah.
Not that you can't find that in the hotels on the strip, which was always confuses me, because I stayed on the strip. It's really very, very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cosmopolitan is a nice hotel. Okay.
I've stayed in a variety of, hotels. When I lived in Hawaii, we flew to Vegas quite frequently. They refer to Vegas as the ninth island. So flights were very, very cheap. That's where people who live in Hawaii go to vacation, is in Vegas. So flights are super cheap. So, Baby Frauded's father and I would fly out there, for a week at a time here and there. And we went frequently. And so, I mean, we stayed in all variety. I think we stuck with MGM properties just because that's I think, where we had like loyalty. So they would always comp us stuff. But because, you know, we spent a lot at the craps tables. I'll just say that. Anyway.
So we also in this episode got to see what felt like Andrew's version of acting, his best.
Oh God! Oh my God! This whole thing made me so angry.
I haven't tried to make a parallel with him and anyone, but the way he talks and does like the mysterious face towards the camera and doing the well, Yara didn't want to come and meet me reminded me of
Amira, not Yara.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually, so I had a friend named Amira and it has nothing to do with this Amira, but it's like, I can't say the name because it was that bad of a friendship.
Oh no.
So forgive me. I don't confuse them. I had her face in my mind, but for some reason my mind is just like, whoop, can't find word. Skip to next.
Skip to next. Well,
Amira,
okay, so
yes, but it reminded me of Colt in the way that he took advantage of having the kind of like last say in the conversation to close it off, making it and the whole family at the table.
That scene made me really, so angry.
And I don't get angry because I was like, oh, I don't hate any. I absolutely dislike this guy after this episode. From what we can see, I just don't like him.
There was so much to hate about it. He's revealing, so he's saying all these things to his sister and his mom about the situation that occurred, none of which is accurate. Of, you know, if you look at it objectively, if you look at the text messages that he sent her and how things went down, from what we saw on TV, the picture he was painting to his sister and his mom were not accurate. So that made me mad. That reminded me of Ed when he was was it Ed? Yeah. Telling his mom when his mom picked him up from the airport, oh, why it didn't work out with Rose because of this, and this. Oh, you conveniently left out all the things that you did to cause this situation.
Well, we're not going to make ourselves look bad in front of the people we're going to for support, right?
And yes, so I understand that.
I understand that he's not going to make himself look like the asshole that he was in front of his family, right? Like, who's going to have a conversation and say, yeah, I was being a total dick to her. I did this. I gaslighted her. Yeah. I'm wondering why she's not here, you know? And then just like them hanging on, like, are you sure it was an anxiety attack? It's like,
oh, yeah. What? Nobody was around. Yeah, except for the fucking camera crew who caught it all on tape.
She's just a good actor. It's there's always that one couple, and this is that couple. Like, even the whole flood of these were our text messages, it's too much. It's too much. And wait, we get a tell all, guys.
I know.
Hold on, let me say it again. Hold on. Tell all. You like that?
Do you think it's going to be a tell all, or is it going to be a tell none?
It's going to be a tell some.
Okay.
But wait, stay tuned. You know what? We have a lot more to unpack here, guys. I think that, you know, a Bears All episode would be in line for this so that we can talk about this and see never before seen
glimpse from the tell all.
It's gonna be that way. You know it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna start unzipping the dress, and just as it starts to fall to the ground, we're gonna clip to another couple, and you can watch that on the app.
I know, right? Oh God! And we're gonna see mark my words, we're gonna see Andrew on the tell-all. I mean, not on the tell-all. We're gonna see him on Bears All, trying to explain himself again, and trying to make himself out to be the hero and who was wronged by Amira.
Yeah. It always mentally turns me off when someone races to get their side of the story plastered everywhere.
Which Andrew's been doing since the jump.
It seems like I'm trying to get the jump on people, so if they get my version,
get ahead of the story.
Look at your version. Yeah, it's always happened to me with that because I'm a very quiet person. Like I don't care. Like if you want to go out and set a scene, sure, whatever. But that's just what I see him doing, and so. Yeah, hopefully she still comes on and tries to talk, but at this point, what the fuck is it going to do? Like, what was the point? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, she's already moved on, according to, I don't know,
who, but it's all,
Instagram.
yeah.
It's all over. Like you like
But there's so many there's so many
I-
conflicting rumors about this and that, or she moved on with this person, she moved on with that person. It's like, well, none of it is that confirmed. Like, just talking to somebody doesn't, as a pen pal doesn't mean you're in a romantic relationship. I don't know. Like, there's no confirmation
there's a
on
lot,
anything.
and I honestly don't have the bandwidth to sift through it. So I
Right.
applaud those who do. I applaud those who are digesting it for others to consume. I don't have the bandwidth
Yeah, for sure.
mentally.
I agree.
So yeah.
Yeah, we're all over the place. I was going to go to Jovi and Yara's wedding, the actual ceremony. We got stuck on Elvis, and then we got distracted.
That's all that was important.
Okay. What about the fact that like the chapel was filled with every single one of his like family members and friends? This was just going to be the couple that turned into an entire actual whole ass wedding.
Well, that's kind of how shit transforms usually, right?
Yeah.
Because once you let one family member in, then you got to let the other ones in, and you're not going to like say, okay, mom, dad, whatever, you guys can come, but I'm not going to invite the people that, we have it just turns into a
this
gigantic,
uncle and that uncle and this cousin and that. Yeah.
Right. The only thing I
turned
did
out-
feel bad is that she couldn't have anyone there. I don't know if
Yeah.
she did maybe a Skype kind of thing, but yeah, that would be the only thing I'd feel down about. It's like, great, your family was all here, but mine wasn't. That's kind of the thing with these weddings, right? Because you can't bring the whole family from the country that they're from. It's a lot of money to get people over,
and particularly in pandemic when everybody was just sort of like, well, we're lucky we could even get married. We can plan a wedding.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of factors there. But I don't know. They seem to travel a lot, so I can see them going back to do something for the family out there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Happily ever after fuel.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I did like, so everyone's saying, and just jumping back into the baby special, everyone's like, oh, Gwen with Mother Jovi is a hero for taking care of, Yara while Jovi's stuck overseas and this and that and the other thing, But are people forgetting that earlier in the season she was like accused, is she gonna steal stuff from our house if she's left there alone? And is she just here for the green card?
That's all the typical scene setter. It's the same plot, right? And it's mainly with the women. Women comes over, oh, she's pretty, but she's just using you. They're going to take advantage of you. How can we trust them? And then somewhere in the middle, there's an event or something, and then all of a sudden they're all happy. Like, we don't get to see the full,
it fleshed out
bonding over time, or maybe there was never any conflict, and it was just, we
have to say this for the show. Yeah,
we know how the producers work, right? Hey, we want you to start talking about her being here, and we want you to voice your concerns, and that they feed them lines to say. So on that aspect, I don't think there was that much friction to begin with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
So, it's been a couple months. Are you still using your recommended vitamins from Care of?
I am. In fact, I'm drinking a protein shake right now with the protein that they sent me because I am going to go work out after this.
Nice. Yeah, I took the online quiz and it was great. It recommended iron, and I'm historically iron deficient. So I was really happy that the questions that they ask really drilled down to identify what I needed. One of the best parts I really liked was being able to add additional vitamins if I wanted to at checkout. It didn't recommend it personally, but I know, as the rest of the world might, that I just need a little bit more D, little sunshine vitamin, little happiness,
Don't we all? The online quiz had given me recommendations for protein powder, which I use in my protein shakes, and electrolytes for hydration, which I am historically very bad at drinking all the fluids that I need to. So having that extra boost has been really helpful.
I do like how they make it easy. All your recommended vitamins come in an individually wrapped packet. So, and even the powders come in packets that you can just rip and pour into your mouth, like the, I think the probiotic one that I picked out. I do like it because I can stick it in my purse. I can carry it upstairs in my office, and I can take them whenever I'm ready.
Yeah, they are definitely very convenient for that. And for Fraudcast listeners, you can get 50% off your first order with Care of. So for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50. That's takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50. Stephanie and Ryan Harris. People have noticed that Stephanie is conspicuously absent from the tell-all footage. Allegedly, she was not invited.
Who?
Stephanie and her 27-year-old fiance, Ryan from Belize.
No, not anymore. She's taken other guys and said that's something else. Hold on. We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
She was missing, or they just didn't show her.
People are saying because she had allegedly sued TLC. Now, we talked about this really early on in the season. You know, there was the social media stuff where she had made some posts talking about TLC allowing forcing her to film when she shouldn't have filmed. She didn't want to film because she was covered with sand flea bites, and then the alleged sexual assault stuff that she's alleging, which we're not passing any kind of judgment on. We don't know the specifics, so we're not getting into that. But people are saying because she had come out saying that she was suing them allegedly, that's why she's not on the tell-all.
Well, that's usually how they do it. We saw it with Devin and Jehoon. Well, we didn't even get a tell-all anyways, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't going to be invited. Like, we haven't seen anything from them, like Bears All, anything. Correct. It seems like once there might be some legal issues going on, it's almost like they don't even bother with it. So if there is an open case or anything, I can't see them possibly wanting to bring her on for that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like I would, that's a liability I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not
gonna pay you any more money to come on the show, right? And you're not
right when you're accusing me of wrongdoing. I'm not going to invite you.
Right when you're suing. So no, I wouldn't do that. But so she actually ditched the idea of bringing Ryan over because she wants to now bring over
Harris,
who is
happily married with kids, but they're all,
No, so she's talking to him on the phone, right? And she does the whole thing like, well, I want to talk to her. And
let me talk to her so I know she's okay with this.
He just pans the phone over like,
I know, like she's sitting right here.
She's sitting there for?
She's giving him a blowjob.
Ew, gross. This is where the mind goes.
I know. They are so completely still happily married. They're like, we'll take your money, Stephanie.
It's so fucking bizarre. Oh my God. I do know people that are not married anymore that cohabitate. They're fine with it. You know what I mean? Like life goes on. I just don't want to be with you anymore. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like she was sitting there listening to his personal conversation with her.
Yeah. And then when they showed him at the end, when they're sitting under the tree and she leans up and kisses him.
Yes.
No,
I'm sorry. No.
They're not broken up.
What the fuck? I can't. No, that's where the show needs to be. The show needs to be about Stephanie and Harris and how they're going to do.
Watch this whole thing transpire.
I could just watch that. I'd be like, I want to know how this goes. It's like Seeking Sister Wife, but in reverse.
Right. Well, on Seeking Sister Wife, we have a situation where the married couple in the United States gets divorced so they can bring over their Brazilian potential sister wife on a K1 and have one big happy family. Yeah. And then he says, when they're all in Mexico together, he says of the Brazilian potential sister wife, yeah, her hair smells so good. And, of course, that brings back images of Paul and his hair fetish. And her hair smells so good and it's just shiny and lovely. And she's so tiny, and we call her the tiny wife, and we call what's her name? I forget her name. Danielle, we call her the large wife. Oh God. Oh, that's just a disaster. That whole thing is a disaster. Anyway, if you guys are not watching Seeking Sister Wife, you should be watching it. It's so good.
I should probably look at it, but
Oh my God.
I barely have time to watch 90 Day.
I know. But since we don't cover Seeking Sister Wife, like watching it is like complete.
It's easier because it's just for you, right?
It's just trash.
You don't have to take notes while you're watching it.
Exactly. I'm not researching into it. I'm not talking to cast members. I'm not talking behind the scenes. I'm like, I can watch it for the pure enjoyment of watching it. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I also got it back into regular Sister Wives this season. I've gone off and on through seasons over the years on that show. But anyway, enough Sister Wives. My whole point is that yes, people divorced so they could bring this other person over. I'm just wondering.
But in this situation, it really seems like it might be a using situation. If he still, I don't know. It's weird. I do hope that we get to see more on it. Like we don't get to see the ending of it, and maybe we don't see her on the tell-all because there's going to be more of her story. Who knows? True. Maybe.
They've been on the boys, both of the Ryan and Harris have both been on Bears All, so TLC hasn't cut contact with them at least,
right?
So maybe
it'll be interesting. We could do 90 Day the other way with Stephanie. She could just move there and live in the house with them. She's like, I need to do a trial. I need to live there to see if you guys are really separated or not.
Oh my God.
All right. I think we've had enough. I think we've tortured the audience enough.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. We're just all over the place.
The Saturday morning BuzzFeed. It's like wherever the mind goes, we talk about. We're so sorry.
Speaking of Saturday morning, just a little housekeeping. It looks like we are going to be pushing publication of the show, of the Fraudcast, to the weekend. Instead of, we were always trying to get it on a Wednesday before, and then we kept pushing it. It was Thursday, and then it was Friday. It's looking like, based on, everything on the shows and what comes out on social media and all this stuff, that it's going to be best to be publishing it on Saturdays, which, hopefully that's a good thing for everybody, because so many podcasts come out during the week that maybe this...
Maybe a little end cap. The good thing is that, since our podcast isn't coverage of the show, right? It's not a recap. I like it because it gives time to kind of see where the dust settles on Instagram and such. And then we could talk about that, because it usually takes a few days for everyone to, I saw the episode and here's my screenshot dump from the last fucking year because, I didn't like how this episode went. So whatever.
So seeing everything like shake out during the week after the episode airs, but it's before the new episode airs, and it'll give you a chance to listen to your other podcasts that are the recap podcast, right? You catch up on all those, and then you come, get us on a Saturday morning coffee with
K. There you go.
Coffee with the Fraudcast. I don't know. Anyway, so as we move into a new season, after, this tell-all and everything else and whatever else we're going to cover, and on Patreon, I think we're going to start covering the single life as well. And so I think, and that'll be published on a weekend as well. It's looking like, so, So as we move into that, we're just gonna have some changes and evolution here at the Fraudcast, and we always want to hear from you. Well, I mean, yeah, we do. We want to hear from you. So
I can see hetero life me going end.
Nope, cutting that out.
And bye, everyone.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you're interested in seeing us over on the Patreon, you can listen to us there, patreon.com/the Fraudcast. I'd like to thank Katie and Amanda, our most recent Patreon patrons, for joining us over there. We're covering Bears All and soon to be the single life over there. And thanks you guys for joining us. Have an enjoyable weekend. We are the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving so you don't have to.